Yes, teacher, can.
Okay. So I'm going to start by saying a little story, right? This is the Hawaii State Hospital. Anna, it is even to this day, Hawaii State Hospital is a hospital for the mentally ill. Now, what happens is, in this particular hospital, there is a ward for the criminally insane. Now, you get mad people, and then you get the criminally insane, which are the people who are mad and who have gone and killed people, who have raped people, people like that. So, just to give you an idea of what this is, um, have you all seen, guys? Just talk with me since all of us are friends here. Have you all seen Hannibal the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Remember Anthony Hopkins in Hannibal the movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Where's my slides? Okay, yeah. So this is similar to Anthony Hopkins in that movie. If you remember, he was restrained. They like virtually put a mask on his face because he used to bite people. This was the kind of situation. This place, this particular ward for the criminally insane was supposed to be really dark and really gloomy, so much so that even the paint did not stick on the walls. It was so gloomy. And what they say is like the psychologist who used to work there used to quit on a monthly basis, and the staff was falling sick quite often and would take leave very often, and sometimes they would just not turn up to work. Okay, and even the people who were working there were highly tensed up because they used to have to walk with their backs to the wall because they were actually so scared that someone will attack them, or they were actually scared of their lives. So because of that, uh, it was like this really, really, really negative place to be in. And one day there was this young doctor who came in, and he was a jolly fellow. He was smiling a lot, and he was trying to figure out, like, he was a very genial fellow. Now, in a negative environment, a toxic environment, all the staff was thinking, "Ade mu yano ataw tikaki," and they managed to. They were like being very, very. Uh, they were being very negative about this guy. But this guy never left, and all he did was he right.
He did
And
what? That I missed that. What did you say?
Yeah, he what?
all this particular psychologist, all he did was sit in his room, right? And he never saw any patients. But after a few months, you know, things started to improve. For example, this is what was said in the book. After a few months, patients that had to be shackled were being allowed to walk freely. Others who had to be heavily medicated were getting off their medications. And those who had no chance of ever being released were being free. Not only that, oh, Sarah is back. I think Sarah, right, and the staff began to enjoy coming to work. Absenteeism and turnover disappeared. They ended up with more staff than they needed because the patients were being released and all the staff was showing up to work. So much so that what happened was that they closed the ward down, mainly because a lot of people had been released, and the few who were not released had been, sent to other normal wards because the severity of their cases had reduced. So the person who was responsible for this psychologist everyone was talking about, was Dr. Hugh Lane, right? He's a Hawaiian psychologist. And this was like an urban myth. How come this guy who was, how come this guy who never saw a single patient face to face, all he did was sit in his room, go through the files, and he used to do some, some process, an ancient Hawaiian process, which made it all better. So this urban myth was came to the attention of Joe Vitale. I don't know whether you heard of Joe Vitale, but Joe Vitale was actually part of The Secret. And, that's how he became famous. And Joe Vitale really searched for a couple of years for Dr. Hewlett and found him. And that was how he realized that Mabel Katz was already known to Dr. Hewlett, and they actually, Mabel Katz was already a pupil of Dr. Hewlett. But this original thing, this technique, was actually something which was developed by a lady called Mona Simona. She is what is known as a clairvoyant, and Hawaii, the Republic of Hawaii, had given her the position of a living legend. So, with this, these two books came about. Again, I had to apologize because by mistake, instead of zero limits, I had put at zero as part of for our communication. But zero limits made Dr. Hewlett equally famous, very famous. And then, of course, there was zero frequency, which is quite technically the other side of this particular process. Now, you might wonder, what is this zero everyone is talking about? Zero limits, zero frequency. What on earth is this? So, zero is the power of no thing. The power of no thing. Now, just imagine, this is a quote by Osho. What it says is, have you pondered on the fact that the door in your house is an empty space, and this is the only opening in the walls that allows entry and exit to and from the house? Thus, this empty space, the door, is the most important part of the house. Without it, the house becomes absolutely useless. Again, nothing and nothing at the state of nothing is the state of creation, right? I mean, I'll just tell you a little bit more. If you look at it, we've heard of a blank check, right? That is because you can do anything you want. We've heard of, an empty canvas, or starting with a blank page, which means when you have nothing, you can create everything. Like now, say for example, in Mahayana Buddhism, there's something called Shunyata. Shunyata translates as emptiness or without form. The teaching of Shunyata helps Buddhists to understand that there is no fixed stable self, and the universe is neither fixed nor stable either. In the Buddhist teachings, Gautama Buddha has said form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. In the Bible, it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of waters. Mother Teresa says it is only when you realize that your nothingness, your emptiness, that God can fill you with himself. Even in Hinduism, this is Swami Vivekananda, this is yoga. Feel nothing, know nothing, do nothing, have to God, and stay utterly. Guys, can I be heard? Yes, right?
Yes.
Yes, you could be.
And yes.
Yeah, okay. Feel nothing, know nothing, do nothing, have nothing, give up all to God, and say utterly, thy will be done. We only dream this bondage. Wake up and let it go. So if you look at it, right, this zero state is the power of zero, where it's absolutely nothing. And when there is absolutely nothing, it is full of possibilities. And I'm just going to give you one more example. This is again another quote by Osho. The usefulness of the cup is its emptiness. When it's empty only, everything can come into your life. So to understand this a little bit more, we need to understand consciousness or the human brain. See, this is the human brain. And guys, I need you to have a listen to it very carefully, because this is a little complex, but I shall try to explain it. Now, the human consciousness is actually in two parts, right? Okay, Anupama has come in, admit, right? Hi, Anupama, and welcome.
Hi, Anupama.
Right, let me
Hi.
continue. So, okay, so if you see the human brain, consciousness is in two parts. We have this, the tip of the iceberg, and it is known as the conscious mind. Now, one thing is the conscious mind, you can consider it like the pilot in a plane. But if you look at the plane, there is actually a lot of autopilot which is happening. That is the subconscious mind, right? And majority of our habits and our thinking and everything we do is done from the subconscious mind. The conscious mind can only utilize 40 bits of information, while the subconscious mind can process 11 million bits of information per second. Now, I'm sure if you all have been listening to the book called The Answer, this information is already there, right? And basically, we operate from our subconscious mind. When we wake up in the morning, we go and, drink our tea, brush our teeth. All of that happens without thinking about it, right? But all this is formed with our past experiences. If you see, we are a sum of the total of our past experiences. And what we see here, touch, taste, smell, remember, and experience create emotions that are tied to our memories, right? But there is more to it. This subconscious mind is also called the inner child, right? The main reason for that is because sometimes we are the most cruel to ourselves. And without realizing it, we use harsh words on ourselves. We criticize ourselves. Okay, Mudita is here, right? We criticize ourselves. And without realizing it, we actually pollute our subconscious mind with things like, we are not good, we are bad. So what they say is always talk to the subconscious mind like it was a little child. That's why it's also called the inner child. Now, the conscious mind consumes 40% more energy than the subconscious mind. Therefore, the brain prefers to work from the subconscious mind rather than the conscious mind. Now, according to the zero state, there is two other things, which is above the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, there is something called the superconsciousness. And above that, there is divinity. Whatever religion we follow, whatever things we do, even if we say we are atheists, but we are spiritual, we know that there is a higher power, right? Which controls us and which gives us guidance. So there is divinity, there is superconsciousness, consciousness, and subconsciousness. I hope that is clear because it's a little complicated. Now, let me just play this little for you to understand this even better. This is by Mona Simona, the original Hakuna, who actually did this process in the first place, right? What she says is we are the sum total of our experiences, which is to say that we are burdened by our past. When we experience stress or fear in our lives, if we would look carefully, we would find that the cause is actually a memory. It is the emotions which are tied to these memories which affect us now. The subconscious associates an action or person in the present with something that happened in the past. When this occurs, emotions are activated and stress is produced. Again, guys, you can talk to me. Is that clear? Most of the time. Now, I am dead scared of cockroaches, right? But the reason why I'm scared of cockroaches is because in the past, a cockroach had come and, messed me up when I was sleeping. So that is a memory which keeps replaying in my mind. Right? So if you look at it, we respond to life with these memories always, replaying. But if you look at super consciousness and divinity, they always have the solutions to whatever our problems. But sadly, because of our ego, because of our memories, because of our experiences, the thoughts and the inspiration from super consciousness cannot come into our subconscious mind and come up to the consciousness. So this is the basic principle of zero state. When you are at a zero state, it is easier for you to hear what divinity has to tell you. So imagine, right, if we respond to life, right, and imagine if we can remove this, right, if we can delete all these negative thoughts and ego and everything from the our subconsciousness, inspiration can flow without any problem into our subconscious. That's basically what this is. And this is what is called the zero state, where you don't really let yourself react to problems, but you actually wait for inspiration to come in. So let me tell you a little bit more. This is again from the book Zero Frequency. At zero, you make decisions consciously, not reactively. Most of the times we react. You are more present and you pay more attention. As Michael Singer says, you are aware that you are aware. Now, this is quite literally what even what Eckhart Tolle talks about in The Power of Now and his other book, right? I'm sure all of you have heard of this phrase, let go and let God. And this HooPonoPono, HooPonoPono is the art of letting go. Now, if you look at HooPonoPono, the word roughly translates to cause things to move back in balance or make things right. Now, this is a really Zen concept, right? And Pono means balance, in where everything is in equilibrium in life. And I must tell you, now when I generally listen to YouTube videos, when I'm driving and so on. I don't listen to music. And I had seen this HooPonoPono video recommended to me through the YouTube algorithms. Now there, I thought it was absolute bullshit, right? And I thought this was real mambo jumbo. HooPonoPono, what the hell is the meaning of this? And I decided not to, listen to it. Then I was avoiding it. But one day, when I was driving, this started playing automatically. YouTube has this way where they actually do auto play. So there was one video which finished and this thing came up and it started playing automatically. And I was driving in a manner where I could not actually stop and change it. So when it started playing, I thought, look, I've seen this many times and now this has started playing automatically. Maybe I'm meant to hear it. And therefore, I listened to it. And that's how I started hearing about HooPonoPono. Now, the HooPonoPono technique is actually very, very simple. It's so simple that one might think it's absolutely stupid. This is only the tip of the iceberg, but the HooPonoPono technique or the zero technique is basically 4 lines. The one is, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I mean, look at it, right, guys? How can these 4 things, these 4 lines, right, help you to clear your mind and hear from the divine, to get your super consciousness active. But trust me, it does. So if you look at it,
yeah, I experienced it after you told about this book I read, no? So then I used it and I really experienced it.
right? So basically, if you look at it, Ho'oponopono consists of 4 powerful emotions. I am sorry is actually repentance. Please forgive me is forgiveness. Now, if you have done any reading in psychology and so on, you will realize that forgiveness is the most crucial thing for you when it comes to move into a higher level of consciousness, right? I love you is love, and love is one of the highest frequency emotions. The only thing above love is enlightenment, and thank you is gratitude, where we always talk about gratitude journaling and so on. So these are a combination of 4 powerful emotions, and these 4 lines can be used individually or even all together. Now, a lot of people ask, guys, do I have to feel forgiveness? Do I have to feel love when I'm using these lines? But the answer is no. You don't have to feel it. Consider it, consider it as a program which is running in the background of the computer of your mind, the operating system, right? And this Ho'oponopono is actually what is called the delete button, that's what it is. And this process, we call it cleaning, right? This process of saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you, we call it cleaning, right? So Ian is entering the waiting room. Admit. Hi, Ian. I hope you can.
Hi,
hear us.
Ian.
So yeah, let me move on. So remember, these lines can be used individually. It's very important. You don't have to feel love for this person. You say, I love you too. You don't have to feel sorry when you say sorry. But even just by saying that, you start cleaning that particular situation. So for example, I'm just going to give you some examples how I use these lines when you say, I'm sorry and please forgive me. For example, when you feel guilty, you can use these lines. Now, I still remember long time ago, I knocked a guy, and I fell asleep at the wheel and I knocked this guy down. Of course, I paid him some money and, everything was sorted out. But but I wish somebody had punished me for it. I wish somebody had actually hit me because I was feeling so guilty about this. So in a situation like that, you could use, I'm sorry, or please forgive me. Then when it comes to I love you, right? When you feel sorry for yourself or when you're harsh on yourself, trust me, guys, most of the time, we are our harshest critics, right? We are our harshest critics. Put your hand onto your heart. Consider your subconscious like a little child, that is what it is. And talk to it and say, I love you. When someone close to you is angry with you, right? And if you don't want to react, you just keep saying, I love you, not out loud, but in your subconscious. Let this be the operating, your thought, which you are focusing it on. When you are angry or irritated with someone, now trust me, guys, I'm telling you, I have some team members who really, irritate me. And But you won't believe, most of the time when they're talking to me, or when they're saying some absolutely stupid shit, I am saying I love you. I love you in the back of my mind. And that helps me, and that prevents me from reacting negatively. And most of the time, these situations resolve with uh, amazing outcomes. And thank you. This is one of the most uh, controversial statements. What it says is, when you face disappointment in life, say thank you. When you don't get what you want, say thank you. Even when a client is giving me negative feedback, I say thank you. See, most of the time, when we face disappointment, it is because the divine, the superpower, the higher consciousness thinks of something which we need, which is something better for us, right? For instance, a long time ago, 16 years ago, I got fired from my job, right? Now, at that time, I thought that was the worst thing which could have happened to me. But in retrospect, that was the best thing. Now, even in zero limits, what it says is, you might want to park at the front of a particular building, but your parking spot is maybe half a kilometer away. That is because the divine knows you are unhealthy and wants you to the divine knows you are unhealthy and wants you to walk because walking is good for you. So we really don't know what the future holds. Now, in a zero frequency, Mabel Katz says, even when you're robbed, you say thank you. And in fact, she actually gives certain occasions where somebody has robbed some people and they say thank you. Or someone has tried to take the purse and that person tries to give him his watch, which is far more valuable. And again, I must say, I am also coming to terms with this, but this is a very, very powerful meditation. And even when life is unfair. Now, another aspect of HooPonoPono is this. Isn't it amazing that you're always present when you encounter a problem? That is what Dr. Hewlett asks. So what he says is, and I'm sure all of us know, if you are studying the law of attraction, we create our own reality, right? We create our own reality. But what he says is, we are completely responsible for everything we experience. I know this is a little hard to digest, but he says we are responsible for everything we experience. And therefore, we should always clean these things, everything. And when I mean everything, I mean absolutely everything. Let me elaborate. So there is us, me, right? Okay, Jarang is here. So there is me, right? And there is you. And then you have your friends, family, and work. Whatever the issues you are facing with them, you are responsible. You are not to blame, but you are responsible. Then there is your country. Now, and whatever is happening there, right? If it comes to your attention, if it makes you angry, if it makes you sad, you should clean. Whatever happens in your region, be it, all these sectarian things which is happening in India, could it be Kashmir, whichever, you are cleaning all the time. When I say cleaning, you are saying, I will do a little exercise with you. We are talking about, saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And even whatever happening in the world, right, you can clean. And without you realizing it, lots of things will start changing. The basic principle of HooPonoPono is, if you feel it, you clean it. Now, I'll tell you a nice example. This was before I knew HooPonoPono. I used to get very angry about all the statements which Donald Trump was saying, right? It really didn't make sense, okay? It really didn't make sense at all, but still, it really used to make me very, very angry. Now, so if I knew HooPonoPono, what I would have done is I would have cleaned it instead of being angry and putting tweets against him or anything like that. Recently, there was a situation where a policeman went and hit someone, right, on the road. Now, the best part was I knew both that particular senior DIG as well as I knew that particular person who got hammered, right? So in that situation, again, all I did was I was cleaning it and meditating on that situation. So guys, I thought the best thing to do is put this into practice. Who wants to do a little HooPonoPono meditation? Can I hear a yay or a nay or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. Okay. So let us all relax. Okay. None of our cameras are on. The first thing in relaxation is your exhale has to be longer than your inhale. So let us all this thing. Let us breathe in short and breathe out and make it a little longer. So let's breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Let's breathe out. And let's say to ourselves, relax, relax, relax. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Relax, relax, relax. Now, keeping your eyes closed, think of an existing problem or a challenge or a situation you want to resolve. Whatever is bothering you, whatever, just think of that situation. It could be you are feeling ashamed because you want to lose weight. You are feeling scared because you are running out of money. You are feeling lonely. You are feeling angry. Whatever, I do not know. But I'm sure there is something troubling you. Allow the thoughts of those feelings of this problem to come up into your mind. See how it feels, right? Can you identify what that feelings are? See whether you can feel that emotion. Is it anger? Is it helplessness? Is it frustration? Is it loneliness? Is it jealousy? Is it fear? Whatever it is, just hold on to it. And now let's start cleaning it. You repeat this in your mind. You don't have to do this, say it out loud. Just repeat it in your mind. Whatever that emotion is, that anger, to that loneliness, to that frustration, to this helplessness, whatever it is, I tell you, I am sorry for whatever is in me that has created this. I am sorry. For whatever is in me that has created this, please forgive me. My family, my relatives, and my ancestors. For whatever is in me that has created this, please forgive me, my family, my relatives, and my ancestors. Whatever that emotion is, if you want to keep your hand to your heart and say, I love you. I love you for everything. I love you for everything. And then, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to clean it and let it go. thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity to clean it and let it go. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity to clean it and let it go. Let us breathe in once more and exhale. And now we can open our eyes. Guys,
Yeah.
I hope you had a good experience on this. So
Yes.
basically, now that you know it, it says it's not your fault if you have been screwed up, but after this point, it is your fault if you stay screwed up. And with that, I am going to end my presentation. Thank you very much.